Dare you. Wow. Well, it finally happened. It finally happened. I finally snapped. We knew it would happen. We knew that sometimes things get a little crazy. Sometimes things, all the things. But yeah, I didn't think it would happen this way. I didn't think that it would come through the way that it did. So let me go ahead and tell you how this went through. Once upon a time, I went to a very popular restaurant, kind of through the drive-thru. Not a big deal, right? They have a special going on. Got the special. Didn't think too much about it. And then as I was driving away and I reached in for my burger, I found out that what I was given was not exactly what I had ordered. I had gone down the street. I had even actually parked. I pulled it out. I looked at it. I took it apart. All of the things, right? Touched it. And when I went back, because it wasn't what I wanted, when I went back through, I was asked to pull up and around, and I did. And then I was told, oh, you're in the wrong space, and can you do this, and can you do that, and all of the things. And when I'll bring it out to you, and when they brought it out to me, they said those words, okay, here's this. Now I need that one back. Can I please have that one back? And that's when it happened. That's when I snapped. All of a sudden, I heard myself saying, no, you cannot have it back. And they said, oh, but the manager's asking, oh, but I need it, oh, but. And I was like thinking about the fact that I had touched it. I had had my hands on it. I had unwrapped it. I had looked at it. I had taken it apart. And what would have happened if I had bitten into it or what have you, right? And all I could think about was the potential that might go back into that restaurant, that space that is not supposed to take stuff back in through the window or back in after it's given out. And what would happen if it was given to somebody else? Maybe you, right? Maybe you would have gone through and you would have gotten that hamburger that had already been touched by somebody else, or potentially already had a bite out of it because somebody had already had it as it was given to them in the wrong order. Now, I wasn't upset about the wrong order, but I didn't see fit to give that back to them for them to potentially, because we don't know what happens when they take it back in, and why would they take it back in? What would happen? I just couldn't see fit for somebody else to potentially receive what I had already touched. And also, I digress. We'll get into that in a moment. But so I said no, and it was a very big deal. I snapped, but not on purpose. I didn't think about it. It wasn't like a rebellious energy. It wasn't any of that. It just was this concern, this fear, this worry about somebody else potentially getting something. And so as they were walking away, they were like, oh, well, you must really need it, and super upset, super snotty, super sassy. And I was like, well, I guess I do need it. And it wasn't that I needed it, it was that I needed to make sure that nobody else got it, if that makes sense, right? And so the moral of this message, this letter, this dear you, is coming through with, I was concerned. I was upset. I was worried about that. I felt like I had been wrong, or that maybe I had been super mean, or maybe I shouldn't have said no, that I should have just been very diligent and done right what I was asked as a good little person may have, and given it back, right? But at the same time, who would have gotten that? Where would that have gone? What would have happened? Would it have actually gone into the trash? If I saw them put it into the trash, I would have been okay with it, but I couldn't. I then thought, what if we, or I, or right within my order, had gotten something that somebody else had, or somebody else had touched, or even somebody else had put in their mouth and then realized it was the wrong order? And it got me thinking whether it's a good idea. We do not know where our food is coming from. We do not know, when we go through this quick little fast food place, or even when somebody else cooks it for us, where was it? What has happened to it? Did somebody else touch it? Had it right? Did somebody wash their hands? Had it been on? We do not know. And so now I am kind of against the fast food restaurants because, or any, right? I feel like it's better currently with that experience, and it may change. And it's not the first time I've had experiences like that, or maybe you either, dear you. But I think I'm off of eating out, right? I do want to support the establishments. I do want to support the people, the small businesses, the local business, all of that, of course, right? I want to show so much love, so much support. And yet, I want to make sure that what I am eating and what the people that are within my environment, within my family, with my loved ones are eating is something that we know how it's being cooked. Now, of course, when we buy stuff at the store, we don't know either. It's kind of a thing. It's kind of a thing. But for me, it's become very important. And also, this knowing that I don't always have to follow the rules and or what I'm told or what I'm expected, right? That the rules may be, or what somebody else expects, or what somebody else thinks, because I couldn't imagine that going to somebody else. And dear you, I wouldn't want you to receive that, or anybody from your family. There was nothing wrong with it. Obviously, my hands were clean, and I didn't. But still, somebody else had touched that. The outside of that preparation area, that restaurant, that place where it is made, and that caused a lot of turmoil within myself for me to, I guess, snap, right? As in, I snapped and refused to give that back. Also, I, I was in a space, in a place where I was like, you know what? I can't. I just can't. And you know what? I'm going to stand up and say no, because I don't believe that things that have been given out in that way, such as food and that sort, should be taken back, right? And it wasn't that I needed it or that I wanted it, even though that's what the person said. Oh, you must really need it. It wasn't at all. I didn't want that. That's not what I ordered. It was the idea of having somebody else get it. I'll digress here, right? I'll stop rambling, but I do wonder, how do you feel about that? What are your insights? Would you have given it back, dear you, and potentially allowed for that to go out? I don't know what would happen, and it's not right or wrong. It's just your personal thing. But for me, I was like, no, I don't want somebody else to have that, or to receive that, or to get that. Anyway, I'm going to close there. I know I jumped right on in. And I apologize. I hope that this message came through for you. Maybe it made some sense. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it'll make you think. It made me think. Anyway, I'll let you go. So much love to you, dear you. Love, Cat.